Order, Chippewa County Board of Commissioners meeting, April 17th, 2020, 9 a.m., although we're at 9:15.
If you're going to be there, I'll move this here.
Pledge of allegiance. Mr. McLean, sir.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, if you would.
Commissioner Egan.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner McLean.
Here.
Commissioner Savoy.
Here.
Commissioner Shackleton.
Here.
Next, we have additions, deletion, and agenda approval.
I'd like to make an addition to the agenda under item number 9, new business, under A, subtitle 1, and that is Eastern UP Transportation Authority discussion.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
I support.
Okay, my question would be, if you wanted that B, then resolution 2020-08, we move that to C?
No, it's going to be A1.
A,
Oh, A1,
subtitle
okay, A1, that works too. All right, any other additions or deletions to the agenda?
I'd move approval of the agenda as amended.
Support. And support? Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Correspondence received on page 11. Any discussion, anything unusual, anything that anyone wanted to comment on that?
We have to do the minutes, Mr.
I
Chairman.
thought we just did.
Oh, we did the agenda.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Item 5.
County Board minutes?
I'd move we approve the county board minutes of March 12th.
support.
Motion support. Any discussion on the board minutes from last month? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Now to correspondence received. Grand Traverse, Acosta, Corps of Engineers.
I'd move that we acknowledge the correspondence received in the clerk's office and forward them as appropriate.
Support.
Motion and support for correspondence. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment is next. The standing rules are we will not partake in debate with public comment. 3 minutes per person, 15 minutes per subject. If you would abide by that, please. Do we have anybody out there with public comment, please? Skype or via phone?
You should tell Brian to open it up.
Brian?
It looks like I'm unmuted. Should I just go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm Erin Carter. I'm with Michigan State University Extension. I just wanted to update the board today and just let you guys know that Extension is still working hard in your county. We have a lot of virtual programs that are going on right now. We have Homes at Home. It's a video program that Elliot Nelson is doing in your county, and it's basically a video for kids to learn about the water around them, and he does activities with them. We also have our 4-H person. She is working with doing some more things online that way too. Also, Extension now has gone virtual throughout the entire state. So if anybody is interested in any one of our institutes, the Health and Nutrition Institute, CYI, which is our Children and Youth Institute, our finance, any sort of those trainings, those are all online and can be found on our website, msu.edu. So I just wanted to update the board and let you guys know that we are still programming huge, just virtually throughout the state and throughout your county.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now is Dwayne Makovich, is that
Well, he's on, but it looks like he's got his camera
Turned
off.
off. That's just option I often use myself.
Okay.
So
I can see this early in the morning.
Yeah.
Do we have any more public comment out there?
Brian, can we make sure that anyone on the phones has had the opportunity?
Sure, I can unmute the phones for a second.
Anybody?
So he's unmuting the phone.
He's unmuting the phone for
You
calling.
you mentioned Mr. Makovich. Are you expecting to hear from him or?
No, we just see he's on.
Okay,
Just see that he's a participant.
okay.
Just turn the whole volume on so we know if there's more people who want to speak under public comment.
All right.
Okay, so everybody's mute is off. If there is anybody out there that wants to speak, please mention it now. I'm sorry, Mr.
No,
Chair.
that's fine.
Dad.
So anything you're doing, eating or anything, we can hear you.
So please state your name, where you live, and what you would like to discuss.
Can everyone hear that?
System says they're unmuted.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
texting me,
All right.
so.
Nobody's,
Last chance for public comment. Public comment going once, going twice. Public comment is closed. If you would.
Okay,
Brian,
hold on, guys. I gotta mute everybody, or unmute people again.
Unmute or mute?
mute.
I have to mute all and then unmute certain ones.
Okay, that's fine. We'll wait. Let us know. Thanks, Brian.
Okay, all the commissioners should be unmuted now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Connor, are you still there?
Yeah,
Where com-
is my video
Okay.
not there anymore?
No.
Well, we can hear you.
Okay.
Well, as long as we can hear you. All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Administrator's report is next, page 12. Administrator German?
You'll see the various reports, as well as some information on the local emergency, which will be changing daily. Besides that, it's been some very trying times, and I'd like to thank Karen and her staff at the health department and Lana. We just went through some stuff with Bay Mills. I think we're about close to a solution.
I think you're there.
There was a little legal hangup, and our attorney gave us a different opinion than the tribe's attorney did, but I think we'll work that out, so.
Yeah, and if I may, I just want to say too, I got pulled into that a little bit, and I just know that with the professionalism and the approach from the administration, the health department has been perfect. They've been spot on, and appreciate that.
And also, why Missy's on here, the daily updates and everything she's doing has been fantastic.
Yes, it has.
Agreed.
Agreed. Like you said, we do things a little differently up here on this side of the bridge, and we mean that in the best way. Everybody, all hands on board, and it's been nice to see everybody on the same page and doing the best for the community. And hopefully a lot of things we prepared for we won't have to use, but it's there. It's good to know. We can sleep at night. Anything else, Kelly? Jim, anything else?
Nope.
You good? Okay, thank you, sir. New business, appointment, the Eastern Upper Peninsula Transportation Authority to fill a vacancy expires 12/31/2021. If you go to page 24, you'll see the list of candidates.
That replaces Rob Layton's position.
Yes. This would be Mr. Layton's position.
No.
Jennifer
no,
McLeod.
Jennifer
this is
McLeod.
No, Jen McLeod. Yeah, because who,
This replaces Jennifer McLeod's
Oh, it's
resignation.
Jim McLeod's, I'm
It
sorry.
says it right on the sheet.
Yeah. There we go. Right page. All right. Candidates are Dennis Bailey, James Sherman, Joseph Henney, Jesse Knoll, and Ted Poskila. This will take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Egan,
Jim German.
Chairman Martin,
Jim German,
Commissioner McLean,
Jim German.
Commissioner Savoy,
Jim German.
and Commissioner Shackleton.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I guess I'll just vote for Mr. German.
So we have unanimous election of Mr. German to the Eastern Upper Peninsula Transportation Authority, filling the vacancy of Jen McLeod. Thank Mrs. McLeod for her service. I have been in contact with her, though, about if the law can be changed so that tribal board members down the road can be on boards, if they could make an exception. I'm probably spitting into the wind here, but I look at a lot of those tribal board members, and they have a lot to contribute to the county as a whole. And to have her have to resign because of the law was unfortunate.
Well,
I felt. Yes, sir.
just to be clear, it's not law, it's tribe's policy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's the hang up, is the tribal policy is that any of their board members may not serve in any other capacity to a different government in which they must, like, pledge allegiance or something.
Well, that's what I mean, take the pledge, take the oath off.
Take oath of office. Well, the oath of office is required in the Constitution.
Oh, so that's not gonna change.
Yeah, that's part of the Constitution, but the hang up is that tribal members can certainly serve. This is only a restriction on the tribal board members. So,
Well, thank you for the clarification.
Which is too bad because Jennifer did a very nice job on UPTA.
Agreed. Well, in my opinion. All right. Next, we have appointment Eastern Peninsula Transportation Authority vacancy expiring with Jen. That is 9A, and now we have 9A1, discussion of the UPTA. Yes, sir. Commissioner Savoy?
Yes, I'd like to start out with a little bit of background, so bear with me here, hoping I'm accurate. As a commissioner, we have the authority to make board appointments. And we try to do that on many boards, EDC, 911, VA, County Road Commission. There's dozens of boards, and at least it's my intentions to try to select competent people that will make sound decisions and be financially responsible in those positions and make the entity as effective as possible and provide the best service they can. And that's, I think, speaking for the board, we all try to do that. I know for myself, I don't want to micromanage EDC. I don't want to micromanage the road commission. So we put people in there that are going to act accordingly and make these decisions that are needed. At least I don't want to micromanage. Over the last month or so, I have been bombarded with calls, emails from UPTA employees to elected officials, to township elected officials, to UPTA board members, from citizens from Drummond Island, Peckford. I've had calls from Luce County commissioners. And they are relaying to me that they're upset with Commissioner Connor Egan's approval serving on the UPTA board. and they feel that it's deteriorated to the point that he can't sit down at the table and resolve the issues. And ultimately, if the issues aren't resolved, we have skin in the game, because financially, we're going to pay for their unfunded liabilities, their insurance, their retirement, and all that. So if these decisions aren't getting made, we have to address it. The one thing, yes, if you serve on those boards, you have to attend the meetings. And if you only attend, if you got a 1/3 or a 50% attendance or a tardiness, you know, you're inefficient right there. Not talking about all the decisions, lack of decisions, and trying to work with everyone for the best of the county government. So I guess that's all I have to say on it. But I feel this is important enough. We're one resigned, we've lost board members. If we don't correct or clean up our own nest, then we're part of the problem and not the solution.
Thank you. Commissioner Shackleton?
I think it's become apparent to certainly me, and I suspect a lot of other people, that the UPTA board has been dysfunctional and not operating well, and not really capable of going forward in a professional approach and a productive approach. And I think that board has been needing sort of a reset, with changing some personalities that maybe were overly vested or overly passionate, but however not necessarily productive. And I think that's where we're at today. Sometimes doing the right thing in this position is uncomfortable. But if you can't do the uncomfortable thing that's right, you shouldn't be here. And with that, I would make a motion that we waive our policies and remove Commissioner Egan from the UPTA board and proceed with a vote to immediately fill that vacancy.
So I have a motion to remove Commissioner Egan from UPTA and then vote to immediately fill that office. Do I have
I will
a
support
second?
that motion.
I support.
And I would also support it and ask for a roll call.
We have more discussion if we want, correct?
Yep, board, it's on the floor.
Okay. Commissioner McLean, you'd like that, sir?
I guess the only comment I would make is that it's unfortunate we have arrived at this situation. And I think we all feel uncomfortable or bad that we are at this point. But after reviewing the information, watching the minutes of the last meeting, and giving it a lot of thought, I think we have to move in this direction.
I tend to agree. It's unfortunate that it's come to this. The board is dysfunctional, and they are at a crossroads right now. We are at risk of losing UPTA. And we don't want to fix this. We're not experts in it. UPTA has run for decades on its own and done a very good job. But we have some things need to be taken care of, and they're not being taken care of. Therefore, I don't see any other option at all than this. It is a shame, but that's where I'm at.
Will you double check that?
I logged out. It should be noted for the minutes, though, if it's the case.
That's what Brian just told me.
All right. May I suggest that the clerk note that Commissioner Connor left the meeting at this point?
I did not leave the meeting.
Oh, good.
My Wi-Fi disconnected. I'm sorry. I'm
Good.
using my
I'm glad
cell
you're there.
phone internet and it's not working. Sorry.
No,
All right.
that's fine.
Disregard that. Commissioner Egan is in attendance.
Any further discussion? We'll need a call vote here to remove Commissioner Egan from Utah?
Commissioner Egan,
No.
Chairman Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Shackleton.
Yes.
Okay, those being what they are, next would be to fill that seat with the candidates that we have left on page 24. So you could return to 24. The candidates would be G. Dennis Bailey, Joseph Henney, Jesse Knoll, and Ted Poskett. We will need a roll call vote for this.
Commissioner Egan,
Denny Bailey.
Chairman Martin,
Joseph Henney,
Commissioner McLean,
Joseph Henney.
Commissioner Savoy,
Joseph Haney.
and Commissioner Shackleton.
Joseph Henney.
okay. We need to obviously contact Mr. Henney at some point and wish him Godspeed. And fixing you does best as we can.
And you as well, Mr. German.
Yes, Mr. German, congratulations.
Thank you.
You might all not be on his Christmas card list anymore.
Jim's, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Henney too, for that matter, but hopefully they will right the ship and deal with other problems as they come, but we do not want nor need to micromanage that you to fix this problem. We have other things to deal with. Resolution 2020-08, submitting a vote of the electorate authorization telephone surcharge for 911 services. Page 25.
I'd move resolution 2020-08.
Need a second for resolution 2020-08.
I'll support.
I'll second.
It's, go ahead and record Mr. Egan's. May I speak on it?
Yes, sir.
This is, I mean, to some degree, I'm hesitant on this because we are putting forward a proposal to raise fees, which is never something you really like to do. But this is to raise the 911 charges that gives them the ability to go, it's up to $2.50, correct? So it's necessary because of the changing environment that there are so few landlines these days that there are just fewer connections. And in order to keep up, to provide the level of service that people are wanting from our 911 and emergency services, we need enough money to do it. And we have to be able to have a fee on the remaining lines that meet the needs. So that's what this does. And it still goes to the ballot for a vote. We're not automatically doing it. And that's what we're voting for, is to forward it to the ballot.
Any discussion? We'll go Commissioner McLean, then Commissioner Savoy.
I want to point out that, that this is, money will be primarily used to replace equipment that has served us real well over the last number of years. And but it's wearing out and it needs to be replaced and updated. So that's what it's all about. It isn't a money grab to give somebody a higher rate of pay or anything like this. This is to replace and update equipment that is necessary because we're getting fine service from 911. And I think we'll all recognize that. And wherever I go, bring up 911, people are happy with what is going on. So they're doing a great job, and we need to make sure that they have the financial resources to make sure that they have the ability to continue in this.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Commissioner Savoy, sir?
I'd like to add, echo what Commissioner McLean just stated, but I serve on that board, and I don't believe they had an increase in excess of 8 years, so they've been operating on the same funding for 8 years. It is a very conservative budget. They're asking for up to $1, but may not need that full amount the first year. And if this is successful and passing in November or August, whenever, I believe it's the August, it should serve their needs for at least the next 5 years. So it's very important that the commission support this, and we have a successful election.
I think we've found the importance of 911 with the COVID emergency. I also would submit that this will help them recoup funds of all those lost landlines. I mean, every time you lose a landline, you lose 911. That money just keeps going down and down and down as the number of phones go down. Yeah, with 5 phone numbers in my house, this is going to hit me pretty hard. With,
all cell phones.
With 3 teenagers, but for what they do and knowing what they do, what Missy and the whole crew does, absolutely talk about government money well spent, people's money well spent. Anything we can do for 911 is money well spent. They've really shown their mettle over the last couple months.
I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, but
No, feel
Michelle has her hand up.
And just to clarify, this actually back probably about 12 years ago now, the law changed because of the decrease in landlines. So this is actually a per device charge. So it's per device. So it's wireless and landlines have the same charge now. And then we also get an additional, it includes a 19-cent fee, which goes to the state, which we do get back as well from the state. So I just wanted to clarify, it used to be that landlines only had the surcharge, and then wireless was directly to the state, but now this is a per device charge. So anything that can contact 911 is considered a device, whether it's a voice over internet, a cell phone, or a landline. So that's what this is. It's a per device charge. I just wanted to clarify that it's they did change the law because of the decrease in landlines.
I assumed as much. I thought I said as much, but thank you for the clarifications, Missy.
Okay. Yep.
Any other discussion? Okay. Hearing none. Mr. Egan, Commissioner Egan, did you want to chime in here? Because
Nope, just she's doing a great job. Our 911 is something to be proud of.
All right, thank you, sir. So, all those in favor?
Need a roll call.
Oh, it's resolution. I'm sorry. Roll call vote. Sorry.
Commissioner Egan.
Aye.
Chairman Martin.
Aye.
Commissioner McLean.
Yes.
Commissioner Savon.
Yes.
And Commissioner Shackleton.
Yes.
All right. Resolution passes. Next, we have, oh gosh, I lost my page, sorry. Standing committee reports. Finance, claims, accounts, Commissioner Soy.
Finance, Claims, and Accounts Committee meeting minutes of April 14th, 2020. Members present, all commissioners were present. Members absent, Connor Egan. Several other people in attendance as listed. Approval of the agenda was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve the agenda as presented on voice vote. The motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. 6 minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Public comment. No public comment was offered. Correspondence and information. Agenda items. Health Department policy approval. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve and authorize policies 7.01.052 and 7.01.065. And telehealth services, 7.01.064, appointment reminders, 2.02.002, cost allocation, 15.00.031, 340B, pharmaceutical, as presented on voice vote. The motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Next on the agenda, Health Department fees and food licensing. There was excessive discussion on this. Bottom line is it was moved by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner McLean, to approve and authorize the Health Department to waive all fixed food and specialty transitory food services license fees, one-time first inspection fees on May 1st, 2020 to April 30th, 2021, with the revenue loss being paid from the county fund balance and refunding those businesses that have already paid this year. On a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support to waive the, again, we stress, one time only, first inspection only of kitchen inspections, with the monies coming out of our contingency fund or rainy day fund or fund equity or whatever you want to call it, fund balance, take your pick. Just want to make sure we're all clear on that point. Yes, sir.
First of all, I compliment the commission on its generosity in helping. It's a very well worth endeavor. Our small businesses are hurting. Kelly and Karen will be working on getting those parts that people who have already paid their refunds immediately. However, the health department audit is going to be up in the next month or two. And I have a very good feeling that audit is going to come out good. If we make 100, 200,000 more than we thought we were going to make, instead of going into the health department's fund balance, I believe the health department could afford that $100,000 on their own, if that were to come back correct. And I would wish to bring that back up when we get the audit.
Instead of taking it out of the county's fund equity, take it out of the health department's fund equity?
If the audit comes back very rosy.
Well, I think, if I may say, Mr. Chair, I think the point is that we're not going to take the money from the health department and leave them hanging. If they are in a financial position to absorb it, fine. If not, we'll make it good. But one way or another, we want to go. I forgot I was going to abstain from the debate, but this is talking about the finances,
Yeah.
not
That's the
the,
other end.
yeah. In one way or another, we want to get the relief to the business owners in our community, but we'll make sure that they have what they need. And if they can absorb it, because this time they're having a good year, great. Because Lord knows we had to put money into it a couple years ago that to make up for some big losses. So we'll figure that out.
Commissioner McLean, sir?
I just want to compliment the chairman, Mr. Martin, for coming up with this idea. I think it was really a good idea, and I'm glad that we've been able to follow through with it.
Well, I would accept that, except that it wasn't my idea. It actually came from a small business owner who approached the commissioner and said, could we get a little relief on this? And it was actually yourself and Commissioner Egan that said, let's do the whole shebang. Although I'll be honest with you, I was leaning strongly that way anyhow. That what we can do for the backbone of our economy is a net plus. And yeah, I wish I could take credit for it. It wasn't my idea. We just extrapolated it, made it, I think, better. Because they're hurting, and I've been downtown to a couple places, and they're at 15 to 20% of their revenues, and they're holding on by the skin of their teeth. It's much easier. I was talking to one day before yesterday, and he said it's easier to say what businesses are open downtown than what businesses are closed.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at, and this is just a little bit to help them, help make them. We can't do a lot, but we can do what we can do. We'll go with Commissioner Savoy.
I know that this isn't
I don't want to be out of order, but I just want to make a comment about the timeline. Our fiscal year for the health department runs October through September. We've already collected some temp before May 1st. So if we're looking at doing this for a full year, it would make more sense. The numbers I was sending up to Kelly yesterday actually encompass October 1 to current. So I know that the fixed food license fees are all due April 30th, and we've already collected nearly half of those. But there were other fees that have already been paid that we will need to refund that were actually paid before April. So when you make the motion, it might be more accurate to make it for our fiscal year to encompass everything. Does that make sense?
But don't your fees run from May 1st?
Not all of it. Those are just the fixed fees. So temp foods can come in at any time depending on an event.
Right,
But they're one time, just one time temp?
Depends on the event and how long they're licensed for. Depends on the type of temp food. If you want, I mean, when we were going through figures yesterday, we kept looking back, okay, they've already paid, this is our fiscal year, but if we do it May.
Because they're due May 1st.
They are.
Maybe you could just put in anything that was due on by May, had the due date of May 1st. Would that make sense?
Can, so that's the bulk of the fixed
But that's
food.
not gonna include the temporary.
That won't include
That
the
won't
temps
include the
and some of
temporaries.
those STFUs then that may have already occurred. And because they're temp foods, it's not a given that they're gonna apply for another temporary food license a year from now.
So
I know it's really complicated.
can you give us an example of that?
This is where Suzanne was here. Let's say, I-500 happens in January.
Right.
It's not gonna fall on that May 1st because most people that attend that,
Right.
they're applying for temporary food license.
Sure. So a lot of times those are events that this was a part of their overhead. They had the event's long gone. That's history. I'm thinking that what we're trying to do is address those people who got invoices that were due on May 1st.
Okay, and then those that haven't paid yet, that would have been due on May 1st.
Yes.
So you're only talking about fixed foods then?
Well, I don't have a problem with the temporary, but let's face it, the I-500 is come and gone. So to write them a check now,
Yeah, that wouldn't.
it's not really in the spirit of the law, so to speak. But could we help them out with the next I-500? Absolutely, because who knows our financial situation next January? I mean, there could be a second spike.
Could
as we go back to business as normal, they're talking about another spike in the late fall. So they might need our help come next January, or, anything. I realize we've had people, if their event has come and gone,
Okay.
to write them a check,
No, that's not the intent.
I just
Yeah,
need to
but-
get it clear because we're pulling together numbers.
go ahead, Kelly.
So I thought the intent was the fixed foods that were all due on May 1st, we're going to wait, one time only. And then the temporaries, we were gonna run from May 1st through April 30th, one time.
Okay.
So if the high school comes in, they get the first one for free, but not the second one, for that entire span, so that everybody has the same opportunity to have the first fee waived one time.
That is my intent.
That makes it simple.
All right.
What she said.
Yeah, what she said.
However,
That's the motion.
That's why we keep Kelly around.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to add that I'm proud of the commission. We can do something to help our small businesses. And there's some discussion about funding. I do believe it should come from the county fund balance and not the health department. If their audit is successful and they brought in more revenue than what was anticipated, maybe they can help us fix the roof this year.
It's the same pair of pants, just different pockets.
Yes.
So,
I want to hold harmless the health department. That is my feeling, is to help small business, but not hurt our health department. Because we've discovered now more than ever how important the health department is to have a financially sound and well-staffed health department. That's, if nothing else, this has taught us that, how important, EOC is, how important health department is, how important War Memorial is. It's the silver lining that we have to take out of this whole mess. Yes, sir, Commissioner German?
And just so the commission is aware, this is probably a good time to bring it up. I've talked with the chair of Building and Grounds, Commissioner Savoy, and we decided to wait to release the RFPs at least a couple of months because of having people in the courthouse and the bidding process, and to see exactly where we are in a month or two for the roofs.
Let's call it.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Saying aye. Opposed?
And put me down for an abstention again, please.
Motion passes, and Commissioner Shackleton is going to abstain. All right.
Surveyor, 2020 revised monumentation and remonumentation plan of Chippewa County. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Shackleton, to approve the 2020 revised monumentation, remonumentation plan for Chippewa County as presented on a voice vote. Motion carried, on which so moved.
Support.
Motion and support for remonumentation. Paying the bills there. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Central Dispatch 911 System Surcharge.
You can skip that one.
We can skip this.
Yeah, we already did it.
Equalization 2020 equalized and tentative taxable values, moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Shackleton, that the equalized values as presented by Equalization Director Sharon Kennedy be adopted as reported, and that all state required forms regarding same be completed and filed as required by statute, and to establish a truth and taxation public hearing and voice vote. The motion carried, I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor of remonumentation, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Equalization.
I'm sorry, equalization. Opposed? Motion passes on equalization and taxable values.
I'm assuming I can skip administration nominations.
Yep.
Finance claims and accounts. It was basically paying the bills, moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner McLean, to approve the March County bills, the general fund and fund balance claim, payroll, and the bills for the health department. Voice vote, motion carried, I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support to pay the bills. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Committee and chairman comments, there were none. Adjourn, it was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin to adjourn. And I would move that we accept the finance and claims agenda as presented.
Motion to accept as presented. Support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner McLean. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. We are, thank you, sir. Well done. Report on meetings as board reps. General comments. Yes, sir, Commissioner McLean.
I just want to mention that the EDC, even during this time of crisis and everything else that's going on, are still moving along. We've been having a number of meetings via Zoom and so on and so forth. And we hope to be able to announce some good things in the next couple of months. But we've been busy meeting. We haven't missed a regular meeting or a committee meeting at all. We're taking care of business, and yesterday's meeting was an hour and a half, so just wanted to say that business is still taking place to the extent that we can. The other thing I'll just mention about the airport, air traffic is down. Everybody knows that substantially. There was talk of us losing one of our flights. We have a flight that goes to Detroit, another one that comes out of Minneapolis. And there was talk initially that we were going to have to give up one of those flights. We talked and discussed how best to do it. We were ready to make a proposal, and lo and behold, they came back and said, we don't have to lose one of those flights because we are part of the essential air service. The other thing that, in that, the company that handles this flight in here has the ability to drop one flight per week. So if you're planning to fly out, make sure that you check it to make sure they haven't eliminated that particular flight during that week. But things are moving along. Hopefully we get over this pretty soon so we can get back to regular business.
Mr. Chair, I'd be willing to make a little report from the hospital point of view. They've done extraordinary things over there, opening additional beds. I think their usual bed count of availability is rated at about 49. Right now, I think it's been increased to about 72 in anticipation and preparation of if anything went poorly. Thankfully, it has not, and they've made several rooms negative pressure in order to handle someone who has an infectious disease. The personal protection equipment has been a challenge, and there are areas where they have lots, and there's areas where they're running very short. They're ready, they're prepared, but like many hospitals, they're sitting around doing nothing. And they've had to lay off a lot of people. The finances, the way it's hitting the bottom line is extraordinary. I don't know how our hospital or most of the hospitals in the state of Michigan are going to be able to patch together their budget and be able to go forward solidly with the type of hit they're taking, because they're virtually at a standstill except for emergency services. And that is about a 50% hit to the bottom line. And as we all know, when your revenue goes down, it doesn't mean your expenses go down commensurating. So it's good news and bad news. The good news is they're ready. They've done a remarkable job. The scary part is, and for not only the hospital, but a lot of entities in our county, is how do you go forward with the financial hit? So that's where we're at there. If anyone has any question regarding the hospital, I may be able to answer them as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Shackleton. One last thing, because we do have to get moving here. If we could get a press release out and contact the Chambers of Commerce on the
Waiving the fees?
On the waiving of the fees, so that there's less chance that people mail a check today or tomorrow or the next day.
We should let people know.
I think probably the Chambers would probably be the first in the press release next, because this isn't going to get into a newspaper until Monday, correct?
If then.
If it gets, I believe somebody said Brian is,
Taylor's on.
Taylor's on. So the evening news is covering it, so hopefully that will make the paper also.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that, and we can get, the chamber will let their members know, the different chambers in the county will let their members know, and go from there, so. I have nothing else. Anybody else?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Support.
All right, we are adjourned.
Don't forget that